What's up, guys? It's Shinjanaytor here, and award season 2K21 is upon us, as in the Oscars are happening tonight. So, 2020 was an interesting year for film, and when I say interesting, I mean I didn't see a single Oscar-nominated movie in the theater, and I am very depressed about that. That being said, though, despite the lackluster delivery method and the countless films that got delayed because of the pandemic, there were some amazing movies to make it out of 2020. Overall, I'm pretty happy with this year's nominees, despite the few inevitable snubs that always happen. So I wanted to go over my predictions and picks for the 2021 Oscars. Please note, sadly, I haven't seen everything that's nominated despite having literally no excuse since most of these are easily available to stream or rent. These are all my opinion and you should not take my predictions too seriously and go bet your hard-earned money on them. Although I did win my work Oscar pool last year. Okay, let's get started. First, I'm gonna quickly go over the categories that I don't have a whole lot to comment on. Makeup and hairstyling and costume design. I've literally only seen Ma Rainey's Black Bottom and Mank for both of these categories, and thankfully I think Ma Rainey will win them both, which I am perfectly happy with. Production design. I could probably make an argument for most of the films nominated in this category, except for Tenet and News of the World, which I haven't seen yet. But I think Mank is a safe choice and one that I'd easily vote for if I was an Academy member. Not only is it a period piece, which the Academy always adores, but it's also about filmmaking, and it's literally about Citizen Kane, which is often deemed as the best movie of all time. I mean, it's just the perfect Oscar formula. Visual effects. Embarrassingly, I haven't seen any of these. Not even Tenet. The Christopher Nolan fangirl in me is crying, but yeah, that'll probably win, I guess. I don't know. Original song. I really enjoyed Leslie Odom Jr.'s Speak Now that played over the credits for One Night in Miami, and I think it has a good shot of winning. For my pick, though, I'm gonna have to say Husavik, just for the memes. Documentary short subject. Between A Concerto as a Conversation and A Love Song for Latasha, the only two I've seen in this category, I'd love to see either win Best Documentary Short Subject. A Concerto as a Conversation has the slight edge as my pick, but I think A Love Song for Latasha will win the heart of voters as its important and timely subject matter is told in a nuanced way. Live action short film. From what I've heard, The Letter Room seems to be a good prediction for best live action short film, which stars the dreamy Oscar Isaac as a corrections officer being transferred to the prison's letter room. My pick, though, is the only one that I have seen, Two Distant Strangers, which is streaming on Netflix. While a little controversial, this short film kept me in a never-ending cycle of, oh, I know where this is going. Wait, no I don't. Oh, okay, no I don't. What? Animated short film. I've yet to see Opera and Yes People, but I really enjoyed the other three short films. Burrow is a super cute and classic Pixar-produced short, while Genius Loci has some stunning experimental animation with trippy, hypnotic visuals. But If Anything Happens, I Love You is the one to beat this year. Animated feature film. It's not often you see two Pixar movies going head-to-head against each other, but Soul has this in the bag. Unfortunately, I haven't seen Wolfwalkers yet because I literally just got Apple TV+, but either way I loved Soul and I will be happy to see it win. International feature film. There's a trend with all of these categories that I don't have a whole lot to comment on, which I'm sure you've all picked up on. I've only seen one nominated international feature film. While I really want to check out the rest of these movies, I am glad that I watched Another Round on Hulu because it was one of my favorite movies of 2020 and really stuck with me. Mads Mikkelsen gives one of my favorite performances of the year, and I'm really glad it got recognition in both this category and Best Directing, but we'll get to that later. Alright, now let's dissect the categories that I really could talk about. Sound. This year, the Academy decided to spice things up and combine sound into one category instead of breaking it down into sound editing and sound mixing. And honestly, it was probably a smart move, considering every year I have to Google which one is the warbait category and which one isn't. Regardless though, this year it's a no-brainer what should and will win Best Sound, Sound of Metal. Hell, it even has sound in the title. But seriously, this movie profoundly spoke to me on so many levels. I have a bachelor's in hearing and speech sciences, and my mom is completely deaf in one ear, so the deaf and hard of hearing community is a topic that hits close to home for me. The sound design in this film is nothing short of masterful, with some seamless transitions between Ruben's hearing loss perspective and the audience's normal point of view. I could go on and on about my thoughts on Sound of Metal's mixing, but instead I suggest you just read my Letterboxd review. Original score. This is a category that's really going to break my heart. It's probably easy to predict that Soul will be taking home the gold for original score, which is well deserved as one of the world's greatest music duos, Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross, created an atmospheric masterpiece with Jon Batiste. However, my pick for original score is going to Emile Mosseri's Minari. Hands down one of my favorite movie scores in recent years, Mosseri nailed the heart of this film and his work is hands down the most beautiful score of the year. I actually teared up listening to the score on its own, and if that isn't speaking volumes for how impactful the music is, then I don't know what is. Film editing. 2020 had some superbly edited films, and all of them are worthy of wins in their own way. For more on why each of these nominated movies nailed its editing, I highly suggest checking out Thomas Flight's video on the topic. This category is a real nail-biter for me, and it goes down between Sound of Metal versus The Trial of Chicago 7. While The Trial of Chicago 7 certainly has the most editing and may win the votes of the Academy in that way, I mean, just look at Bohemian Rhapsody's win in 2019. I'm locking in both my prediction and pick for Sound of Metal. It's obviously no secret that I love this movie, and its poignant and powerful editing, both visually and audibly, deserve all the praise. Cinematography. This is easily a battle between Mank and Nomadland. Honestly, I have no idea why The Trial of the Chicago 7 was even nominated. And while Mank has some stunning black and white cinematography that I would have loved to see on the big screen, Nomadland is the one to beat this year and is both my prediction and pick for best cinematography. In a year that was mostly spent indoors, Nomadland grabs the viewer by the shoulders and says, "Hey, look how beautiful the world is." And damn did it make me want to go out there and explore. Documentary feature. 2020 wasn't my favorite year for documentaries, but I did enjoy Crip Camp a lot, which tells the story of a summer camp for disabled kids and the creation of the disabled rights movement. Time was a captivating look at how America's unjust criminal justice system can affect those involved. But I think My Octopus Teacher is going to win Best Documentary Feature due to its astounding underwater camera work technical achievements, similar to 2018's Free Solo. While My Octopus Teacher is my prediction, my pick goes to Crip Camp for stealing my heart. Adapted screenplay. Is a Borat movie actually going to become an Oscar winner? Considering its WGA win, it's honestly possible. However, I think it's a closer race between The Father and Nomadland. The Father paints a beautifully heartbreaking story of a father with dementia, played brilliantly by the one and only Anthony Hopkins. And the screenplay does an excellent job of portraying the vulnerabilities and frustrations that a person faces when losing their memory. It's a really close race, but I think Nomadland has the slight edge in this category, and it's just the movie of the people. Original screenplay. Original screenplay is a tricky one. In years past, the Academy has favored movies that generally took home no other award, but was still a highly loved film from the year. I think this year will be a similar case with Promising Young Woman. Many may think The Trial of the Chicago 7 has a stronger chance of winning due to Oscar darling Aaron Sorkin's penmanship, but Promising Young Woman was definitely more talked about and one that kept the conversation going months after release. As much as I personally enjoyed that movie, I think its directing was much stronger than its writing, and my personal pick is between Minari and Sound of Metal. Actress in a supporting role. Supporting actress had an interesting turn of events this awards season. Amanda Seyfried was the talk of the town for a while and seemed to be the front runner up until Yuh-Jung started sweeping every awards show. And honestly, I am here for it. Harmony deserves all of the praise, and I'll do whatever it takes for her to give as many iconic winning speeches as possible.
Recognized by British people, known as very snobbish people. And
Olivia Colman was also great in The Father, but nothing will beat her performance in The Favorite, which she's already won for. So I'm putting all my eggs into Yuh-Jung basket. That's a weird sentence. Anyway, actor in a supporting role. Supporting actor is one of the easiest to predict this year, but one of the hardest for me to pick between. I genuinely loved every single performance in this category, and it's no secret that Daniel Kaluuya is going to take home the coveted first award of the night for his inspiring performance in Judas and the Black Messiah. While Kaluuya deserves all of the praise he's been receiving for this, and I cannot wait for him to win, I might have to give Lakeith Stanfield the slight edge as my pick. While obviously not a supporting actor in this role in any capacity, and I could go on an entire debate on why it's BS that he got put into this category, his standout performance as an FBI informant stuck with me long after the credits rolled. Actress in a leading role. This is the hardest category to predict this year, and that's no hyperbole either. Every single woman in this category has won at least one award so far, except for Vanessa Kirby. Sorry, Queen. I could honestly see any of these amazing women winning Best Actress for numerous reasons, but it's likely between Viola Davis as the incredible Ma Rainey versus Carey Mulligan in the chilling role of a woman with a double life at night. You'd probably have a better chance of flipping a coin to pick the winner than actively predicting who will win out of pure conviction, but I'm going to give it to Carey Mulligan for both my prediction and pick. While Viola Davis was jaw-dropping as the titular Ma Rainey, I feel that her performance is great in an otherwise lackluster film, whereas Carey Mulligan shines in a movie that I haven't been able to stop thinking about. Really though, this category is anyone's to win at this point, and definitely one that I will be holding my breath for. Actor in a leading role. Chadwick Boseman has this in the bag, and it is 100% deserved. While Riz Ahmed and Steven Yeun gave performances that I won't forget about anytime soon and may have the slight edge for my personal picks, Chadwick is the shining light in Ma Rainey's Black Bottom and the best part about that movie. Anthony Hopkins also gives an unforgettable performance in The Father. Is that a cruel pun? Whereas Gary Oldman was just fine, I guess. But the Academy will definitely honor Chadwick's legacy with this award. Directing. It is time for history to be broken and for the film industry to start recognizing the incredible work of women filmmakers. Chloe Zhao is my prediction and pick for Best Directing as she beautifully encapsulates the feeling of living in her film Nomadland. A true auteur who not only wrote and directed Nomadland but also edited it, yes, queen. Her win would only be the second woman to ever win Best Director and one of few Asians who have won as well. Shout out Bong Joon-ho, I love you. This is a tough category, and I'd be rooting for all nominated directors if I could, but Chloe's win would be monumental and the most deserved. Best Picture. It's no secret that I'm a big advocate for diversity in film, and I am obviously biased towards my Korean representation. Just look at how I reacted to Parasite winning last year. And Minari is easily my pick for Best Picture of 2020. Minari already means so much to me and hit close to home in an indescribable way. Lee Isaac Chung does an incredible job of portraying a realistic Korean household from the little Korean mannerisms and cultural references, while also depicting the American dream and what it means to be an immigrant. There are so many things I adored about Minari, and while I do think it has a small chance of winning the big trophy, my prediction is going to Nomadland. It's been nearly sweeping this award season, and the numbers don't lie with how much people have been talking about it. The Trial of the Chicago 7 could potentially take home Best Picture as well, and while I was shocked at how much I enjoyed that movie, Nomadland is the one that speaks to 2020. In a year that highlighted what it means to be an essential employee, what it means to have a role in society, what it feels like to be a part of a community. Nomadland was breathtakingly beautiful in its depiction of these American nomads and the beauty of this country. There was a lot of ugly and gross stuff that happened in 2020 that I would love to forget about, but I can't because they need to be discussed. Nomadland reminded me that there is beauty in this world and you just have to look for it. While it wasn't my personal all-time favorite movie for 2020, I still really enjoyed it, and I would be super happy to see it taking home Best Picture this year. Alright, well those are all of my predictions and picks for the 2021 Oscars. Let me know in the comments below what your predictions and picks are for the year, what your favorite movies were from 2020, and if you think my opinions suck. Check out my film podcast, The Highlight Reel, to listen to more of my movie thoughts, and join my movie club server on Discord, The Cinema Club. Thanks as always for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.